I should tell a story just before going too far, and I really want to tell it because usually I can talk about metal when I get interviewed, and now, but I don't think I would be here without Despise Icon, because I don't know how many times I saw Despise, Iron Dissonance, Beneath the Massacre, that whole crew that I was friends with them, and I was hanging my Bagman DVD, and the guy that shot the first clip of Despise Icon is Jean-Philippe Bernier, and Alex shown in my movies, and he said, like, those guys are super good. They just need someone like me to tell them how, like, the technical side of filmmaking. And that's how we met Jean-Philippe Bernier, which became our DP.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt here from Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox&Hops Metal Podcast. I hope that you had a killer weekend. I most certainly did. This Vox&Hops episode is presented by Heavy Montreal. Heavy Montreal are Montreal's premier metal promoter, and if you are ever in Montreal, trust me when I say this, if you are looking for a killer show to go to, Heavy Montreal will have you covered. I am beyond stoked to have Heavy Montreal behind the Vox&Hops Metal Podcast. Now, before we jump into today's episode, I'd just like to ask you to follow the Vox&Hops Metal Podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. But more than that, I would love for you to tell a friend about the podcast. If there's someone in your life that just loves extreme music and loves craft beer, well, you should definitely let them know that the Vox&Hops Metal Podcast exists. You could tell them that there are over 400 episodes where I sit down with some of the world's best metal musicians. We talk all about their lives and music while enjoying craft beers. If you would encourage one of your metalhead beer-loving friends to become a brand new Vox&Hops head, that would be something that I would truly appreciate. Now, today on the podcast, I'm very stoked to be with the filmmaker François Simard. Get ready, everyone. This is Vox&Hops episode number 447.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm very stoked to be with François Simard, the director, the actor a little bit, the writer. He makes movies, people. I have not had very many people that make movies on the podcast, but I watched this movie, and I had watched this movie before I ever met him, and then he turns out that he's friends with Dom Guillemot, who I need to get on the podcast, and I feel bad that I haven't yet. He's the guy that plays bass for Cryptopsy when Ollie is busy from The Last Felony. A great dude. François, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Very stoked to be with you. I hope you've been having, from what I know, you've been very busy. That's what I know, and that's because you were like, can we not do it then, but do it later, because I have a massive project to finish, and I'm too stressed about everything. So how does it feel now that you're a little bit more out of the water?
Yeah, we had a super busy year in 23. We shot two full feature. Yeah, it was pretty intense, and we had the chance to do a small festival tour, beginning with Fantasia. Then we went to Fantastic Fest in Texas, and then Sitges in Spain.
Wow.
And even a small one in Sheffield, UK, which is always like, I was the kind of guy that didn't need to travel or thought that didn't need to travel. I was fine at home, but I was so wrong. It's like traveling is amazing, and I'm kind of jealous of you guys, like going everywhere in the world. Like we only do a couple dates here and there, and like I would have loved to go to where
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Wow, man.
It's the number one question that I get from people now. It's unbelievable how often I get talked about that. It's cool that you get to do that, though. I was thinking about, I was writing down my questions, and I was like, did you ever think about making it? And then I imagine myself getting questioned that, and I'm like, that's a shit question. Let's not ask that question, because we both sort of made it, but in different spheres. And it's not like anything that you like. It's like a series of like happy accidents that lead you to somewhere. There's no definitive path to anything.
Yeah, and it's mostly about passion, because
correct.
I don't know about you, but when I began, it was just for fun. Like, we were making movies with friends. I wouldn't thought that it would like change my life forever. but yeah, we just began having fun. We shot a movie in 2004, like a short, like a super DIY. Maybe the hardcore old school fan,
We'll find
like
it on
a
the internet somewhere. Yeah.
yeah. I'm in a collective called RKSS, but like it stands for Roadkill Superstar, which was kind of our death metal name, but we had to change it to make it a little bit cleaner. But in 2004, it was the movie was called Bagman, and was just like for a small festival in Montreal called Festival Space, and we wanted to blow the people's mind, and we didn't think it would go further than that. But at that time, I think there was not even YouTube yet. It was called Google Video, and
Yeah.
somebody, not us, but somebody put it on the internet, and it got like maybe 1 million views.
Holy
It was
shit.
in, it was
Just like
insane.
that. One of
Yeah,
those things that happen.
yeah, and even for a DIY short, the short was dubbed in German. Also,
Wow.
it was uh, kind of viral
You
before.
can't make this shit up. It's like you were a MySpace band almost.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. So we thought that with that success that we would be able to make the feature of that movie, but we were trying to do it in French, and at that time it was super hard to get the financing to do a horror, like a full-on gore
Gore.
slasher. And we tried for 10 years to make that movie, but like I don't know if it's the same thing, but the first movie, like your first short, will be shit, and your first script will be shit too. But you
Yeah,
learn from
you
your
have to make it. Yeah.
yeah, you learn from your mistake, and like I'm sure if I read the script that we wrote for the Bagman feature, would be like atrocious to
Dude, even
but
to this day, my first drafts for the new Cryptopsy record are on this computer somewhere, and they're shit. But you gotta write something in order to make something. You have to start, and you have to complete that first draft of anything, whether it be a movie, a script, lyrics, a song, and then you can fix it.
yeah, absolutely. And that's uh like I said, we did a lot of more shorts. Actually, it's a kind of a cool story because at that time I was passing that short at the Fofone Electric like it was
Really?
a demo tape, like a
Unbelievable. You're so metal. I love it. Let's build up to
and
all of that. This is Vox and Hops. It's all about hanging out with my metal friends, talking about their lives and music while sharing craft beers. What are you drinking on your side tonight, François?
oh shit, what am I drinking? I'm not a huge connoisseur, probably like you,
You don't
but
have a problem like me, is
well, I do like beer, like the next guy. But when I went to Prague, I fell in love with Pilsner, and ever since then, that's my favorite drink.
hell yes.
And I did ask to. I went to Les Bières du Monde, and I asked, what's your best Pilsner?" So he hand me this
Oh,
one.
Herman. Yeah, Herman are really underrated hype. I like them very much. And my friend that runs the craft beer store that I go to called Kevin, called La Canette Villeray, he loves them. And I've had a bunch of their products, and that one is delicious. I think I've had that one.
Cool, cool. And just to be sure, I have two others. One from Microbrasserie Tadoussac, and another
Yes,
one,
La Même Frais. Yeah.
La Même Frais.
Hell
So,
yes. Good. Very excited. On my side, I'm drinking, like I have been for the past few episodes, in case people are listening to these back to back, Kahnawake Brewing. This is their Hard Day's Work. It's an ESB. It is 5%. Shout out to my friend Drew that runs Kahnawake Brewing. Hooked me up with this beer, and I'm a big fan of his stuff, so I'm going to crack it open and pour it out. As I do that, I would love to hear about your very first beer.
oh, my very first beer. Oh shit! I don't think it's nothing special. It's probably
No, no, they tend to not be. No.
like a Molson Labatt Bleu shit beer, but I didn't have an older brother, but I did have an older cousin. And when we were 13 years old, he was old enough to buy beer. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I
He
got
was
my
tall.
first one. Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
he's actually the same cousin that like he was really into grunge music at that time, and that's when I got the hook, and I became a
Music,
music
really.
fan. You know,
So,
yeah, I was.
he gave you your first beer. He got you into extreme music.
Well, it wasn't that extreme.
No,
Like
but
we're talking
it's the
about,
gateway. It's the gateway towards extremity.
yeah, learn about Nine Inch Nails and Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins, Alice in Chains, all that. Tool.
Yes.
And
Oh, yes.
Nine Inch Nails was the band that like I was hooked. And after that, I was like, oh my god, that's disgusting. I like it. I want more.
I feel uncomfortable, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. And after that, I was seeking like the most violent music, but at different steps.
Intervals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did have a new metal phase. I don't want to talk it.
I've talked about it so much in the past weeks. I've been doing a bunch of episodes recently, and it comes up on every episode that I'm a new metal child and that I still listen to it. So there's no shame here
okay.
on Vox and Hops about new metal.
I
New
still,
metal is back.
I like early Deftones.
Same.
Yeah. And
100%.
Biohazard led me to hardcore music, and then metalcore, then deathcore, and then brutal death, and yeah. And now I'm maybe older, and I listen to more like stoner or
Lunge.
ground black metal. I didn't used to like it, but now I'm like I don't know. I'm opening my.
That's good. That's good. It's good as we get older to open our horizons. Yes.
Yeah. And sorry if my English isn't.
No, you're wonderful.
It's a bit,
no,
it's
you're
a bit
killing
rusty,
it.
but usually beer helps until it doesn't.
That is true. It loosens up our inhibitions, but then all of a sudden we're not as 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 understandable as we think we are.
Yeah.
Talking about when I speak in French. Typically, I would ask about the soundtrack of your youth, but you just smashed through it. And I want to sort of like take all my typical questions and spin them towards being a filmmaker. So talk to me about the movies that you grew up watching that were not your choices to watch. Were there any like your parents' favorite or your parents or your guardians' favorite movies that they shared with you when you were growing up that sort of still stayed with you today?
Oh my God. Like my parents was not really into music. Like they were listening to radio, maybe Pink Floyd and Harmonium here and there.
Hell yeah.
But my father like showed me movies, very violent movie when I was way too young.
Is there something that like marked you? Like for myself, I remember watching so many weird movies with my dad. Yeah.
I still up to this day, RoboCop, Total Recall,
yes,
Predator, Commando. I remember he lied to my mom to bring me to the cinema, and we were supposed to watch like I don't know, a cartoon, but he bring me to Terminator 2. Sorry,
Terminator 2. No way, in the cinema.
And he was
awesome.
like telling me to like close my eyes at certain scenes, like the
yeah.
And of course, I was
of course
still watching, but yeah, like thinking about it, it's his fault. If I'm a filmmaker now, like
that's awesome. Did your mother ever come around or ever discover or find out, unless she will watch this and find out that he did not take you to see that cartoon movie?
But she passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So, but yeah, my mother was sick. She got, I don't know what it was in English, sclerose en plaques.
Multiple sclerosis. Yeah.
So I didn't show her the movies I was making at some point because
it was too heavy.
Too heavy. Yeah, I remember like at a Christmas party with the whole family. They wanted to see what I was doing, like oh, you're making some movies. Can we see it? And it was Bagman, and I remember just seeing my grandmother just watching the corner and not the TV, and
My gosh.
they were like, yeah,
We're proud of you, sort of, and also very worried.
yeah. But it was always a like not a like my father was like it's fun like to have a passion. It's okay to have a passion, but at some point you need a real job. And because we were trying to make a feature for the longest time, and at some point we did switch in English, and that's when we had multiple doors that open, and we finally were able to do our first feature. And when my father learned that we got Michael Ironside as the main villain, that's when he was like, "Oh, okay,
You're serious? Oh, you're a real director now." I know that guy's face and name.
Yeah, well, he's the one that showed me the Total Recall. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's move forward to were you a kid? Were you that kid that had the video camera and were always recording stuff like the Goldbergs, this TV show? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, or was it a group of friends that just became something out of shits and giggles? How did it all just really, the start of it? Like bands start because you want to start a band and I play bass, you play, but making a movie or a group of people and you're all sort of just working together at multiple jobs, but the same job.
Yeah, well, we were like hanging out in the video store all the time, like watching all the horror section. I remember.
Were you working there, or was it a?
No, but we like at that time it was with Anouk, Johan, and Jonathan Prévost, which were like Jonathan was my friend in school, and then I met Anouk at the animation school in the Cégep du Montréal, and they told me like we did the same thing, but we used to spend the whole week watching horror movie at the site. There was a store called Videogie at Saint-Eustache.
Are you from Saint-Eustache?
I'm from Laval, so
no way. Okay. From Laval West.
I was in Vimont, which is but I did move to Saint-Eustache for the biggest part of my life.
Really? Because I'm from Two Mountains.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so I know Videogie. That's why I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh,
wait a minute. Yeah, that's
awesome.
Cool. Okay, back to the
Petit.
Yeah, to the very small.
So yeah, you could rent like 7 horror movies for 7 days for $7, or
exactly,
something like that.
It smelled like popcorn.
That's how it began. I remember seeing Brain Dead, which that movie, like I got the spark in my brain. I want to do this. It seems like super fun to make. And
what was it about the horror and the gore? Is it the same thing about like the extremity and extreme death metal and the cover art? What was it about horror that just captured you so much back then?
I don't know. Like I wasn't into extreme like
stuff. Not the torture weird stuff.
No.
Snuff stuff.
I love my gore that is funny and you have a good time. And it's a party movie, not the one that shock you. But yeah, like Peter Jackson's Brain Dead was and Bad Taste, his earlier movie, his first one. I remember like watching everything about like every making of, and we like starting to just have fun with a vacation camera, a very shitty one.
Yeah.
And we were doing everything like the makeup, the FX, the acting, the directing, the filming. We didn't know anything about filmmaking. Like I didn't know like a DOP, like a photography.
Yeah.
Didn't know shit about that.
Just pure
Then,
passion, and like weekends and like summers between CJEP or
we like the first shorts we made, like at the beginning we didn't finish them, and at some point we're like, oh, all right, we'll make one, we'll finish it, and then we'll try to show it to our friends. And we did it, and it became a short called Deux Morts, which is two dead.
Yeah.
Two dead. And it was like 45 minutes long. It was
a long and short. Yeah.
Well, that's the first mistake you do. Like, it's way too long. If you shot it, doesn't mean you need it. You can cut it.
Yeah.
But the gore was fun. We had that sense of rhythm, like in the action.
Nice. And the timing, you had that sense, the understanding of how to pace an action scene.
And we met with I remember with Jarrett Man and Carniard, which they both had Festival Spots and Vitesse Lumière. We were also a huge fan of Fantasia Festival, but
I have a whole thing. I wrote Fantasia down here. Yeah.
Cool. But it was mainly our film school, because we were there at the very beginning and we used to watch every movie. So yeah, we never expected to one day present a movie at
so
that
cool. It's so cool. Talk to me about and I'm sure that you've learned like and made this way better, but do you remember the first recipe that you made for blood?
First recipe? Oh yeah. Like we didn't go too far. The first one was just tomato juice, which sucks when you have it in your eyes and smells super bad.
Yes.
I don't recommend it at all. And then at some point we finally had a good recipe with chocolate syrup, like quick, and corn syrup and red color, food color. So, and it was way better, but sometimes it's bad when you're outside because you have problem with bees and
oh shit. Okay, yeah.
But besides that, I just can't drink quick anymore. Like I just can't. But yeah, that's how we begin.
That's amazing, man. And then like you get the viral hit and it gets uploaded to Google Video. And now of course you guys are not getting any, I guess at that time nothing was being monetized either. So you guys weren't getting any kickback for the viralness of it all.
Oh yeah, not at all. But we at that time we wanted to sell DVDs.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And we were dumb to not put it ourselves on the net.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't understand
where everything was headed, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you were mentioning that you had a lot of struggles until you switched to English. So talk to me about what's happening in Quebec and the funding there, and it not falling into horror. Why does Quebec not support horror movies back in the 2000s, whereas now they seem to be a little bit more into it because there's a few more coming out from what I'm seeing at least?
Yeah. I don't know. It's here in Quebec. It's always like that kind of cinema was seen as a
lower form
of art, like B movies. It's not real cinema. Here we like the money that the subsidies was giving to make movies was mainly for dramas and arts house and nothing just for entertaining and or something more American if you want. But yeah, and I like I said, maybe our script was bad at that time and we did get better at it. So I don't want to shit on them.
Yeah.
Because we were
didn't have the heart to tell you that it was the script. We have no funds.
But still the small festival motivated us to continue. And at one point we were switching to English, and we did a. I should tell a story just before going too far, and I really want to tell it because usually I can talk about metal when I get interviewed, and now I'm sure you will appreciate
the perfect platform.
But I don't think I would be here without Despise Icon, because
really?
I was hanging out with them. Like I love the whole scene. Like I don't know how many times I saw Despise, Iron Dissonance, Beneath the Massacre, that whole crew that I was friends with them, and I was hanging my Bagman DVD, and the guy that shot one of the first, like the first clip of Despise Icon is Jean-Philippe Bernier, and Alex shown him my movies, and he said like those guys are super good. They just need someone like me to tell them how like the technical side of of filmmaking, and that's how we met Jean-Philippe Bernier, which became our DP, and also he did the music. Like it was the first time that we finally have original music, because like like Bagman was just music that we not stole, but we didn't have the right to
it was before the internet, so
yeah. But now you can do that.
No, you can't. You get slapped on the wrist right away.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
cool. That's cool for shout out to Alex Ariang, because he's awesome and I love him. And it's cool that he helped you move along and everything. You never thought about getting into that world of making music videos? It was not, you guys never made one, or thought about making one, or got approached about making one?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk, I think, for the Beneath the Massacre clip or and a Iron Dissonance clip, I think, but it never got made. But we did a clip for Le Matos, which is Jean-Philippe's band, and also I was there for the Despise in the Arm of Perdition. I was the art director on that clip, and I used to pour water on the drum, and it was so freezing.
Oh yeah, for the yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it was a cool experience, but my God, it was so freezing. It was insane.
We suffer for our art, is what we do.
Yeah.
So as everything's building up, it keeps happening. You switch to English, you get all this funding, you make a movie. Yeah. At what point, and I'm going to ask this question at this point, is at what point did you realize Turbo Kid was a fucking hit?
Well, that's another thing. Do you know Jason Eisner that did a movie called Hobo with a Shotgun?
I do, yeah.
He's the one that pushed us, he told us there's a competition called ABCs of Death. And they have like every letter will be a short film, and they have the letter T for the public, and you guys absolutely need to do one for that contest. So we were all pumped. We were at Fantasia when we met him, and I remember in the car going back home, we were already brainstorming, and that's how we came up with the idea for Turbo Kid, which was basically a low budget Mad Max.
100%, yes.
we'll use BMX bikes instead of.
Is that because I have a question about that? Is that because of Rad? Did you guys watch Rad as a kid?
Yeah. Well, Rad, BMX Bandit. All the Italian ripoff of Mad Max, which I love. It was made.
I didn't see that one. No.
Oh, the New Barbarians is
okay.
You need to watch it with friends and a couple of beers.
Okay, I'm in.
Like
it's not fine cinema, but it's a good time.
They are very cheesy. But
definitely like the whole kickoff of the movie. I was watching it last night, and I was like, "Damn, this makes me think of Rad with that montage." The song, the vibe, the music is cool. It hits. It reminds me of like Survive, that synthwave rock stuff. So the movie's a hit. You guys do so many. You win a bunch of like festivals. We won a bunch of awards too, which I wrote down somewhere. But you won a bunch of awards. South by Southwest, you won, which is crazy. Fantasia, you won, just crazy to grow
Oh
up
yeah.
studying there, and then you present a movie there, you win there, and then all of this is happening, and it's all over and finished. Was there a moment of, oh my God, what are we going to do next? Was there like that fear of a follow up, which happens to bands? I'm wondering if it happens to directors.
Yeah. Well, at that point, we were just like stunned. We the movie premiere in Sundance
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Park City, which was insane, and because of that, Hollywood was interested by us, and we got agent and manager
crazy.
and the whole thing.
You're like, I just want to
We
make a hang out with my friends and make movies and laugh and have fun, and here we are with agents.
yeah, and they were like, come down in LA, you'll make the tour of the studios, and met everybody. And yeah, they were like, awesome, we love Turbo Kid, so what's next? Do you have another script? So Jason Eisner told us you need to be you need to have a script ready. So we try to have one. As a matter of fact, you need to have a multiple project, because every movie that gets the green light, like
20,
every
20
indie
totes.
movie, that
Yeah.
it's a miracle. So if you put your eggs in the same basket, it's very risky. And
Damn.
yeah,
So you have
we
multiple done now. You did 2 last year. You have 3 before that and more.
but yeah,
So that
at
means
some point we just met.
like 50 for real, like ideas.
Not 50, but maybe more than 5, but in between 5 and 10s at some point, in different state
Of development. Yeah.
of development. Yeah, and we met someone in LA that saw Turbo Kid, and like, I don't know if you know the saying in LA, in Hollywood, everyone have a script. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this guy Matt had a script, and he pitched the idea to us, which was a Goonies that had a very dark ending, and we
Ooh,
were kind of, oh, you can please tell us
yeah.
more. And yeah, we said yes to that project, and we didn't know that it would be that project that will that would have the green light. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you got it. No, you're killing it. You're doing great.
So
So what movie
and it,
that became Summer of '84?
yep, and it was like the whole thing, just like maybe a couple of weeks before going into Vancouver to shoot the movie, we learned about Netflix Stranger Things, and we're like, no,
Yeah.
they did it first. So it was a curse and a blessing at the same time, because we it shows the financier and the distributor that that's what the people want, like the
Yeah,
public,
you're
like
definitely on the right
yeah, it's
wavelength
something
of
that
what audience wants. There's definitely like something that I've been noticing, and I don't know if I didn't see We Are Zombies yet, so I can't talk about it or know about it. I'm imagining maybe it is, and I hope I'm on the right idea here, is that there's a lot of like tinges of nostalgia
yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah.
movies.
Oh
And
well,
that's what's
we're
happening
st-
right now in the world, you know?
we're still kids at heart, and that's why in Turbo Kid, like we not only have reference and like it's a love letter to our childhood, and not just movies, also video games or
Yeah.
cartoon that we were watching with way too sugary cereal
Yes.
when
Or
we were kids in
Jolt
our
Cola.
PJs. So, and yeah, Summer was right into the same alley. It was the most serious movie we did, which I was a bit nervous, because our fan was used to our humor, and
Hmm.
but we didn't wanted to do the same thing over and over again, and we wanted to show that we can evolve and make different kind of movies. And yeah, now it's been 5 years since the release of Summer of '84, and it's one of the most watched movies on Shudder as
Really?
we speak.
That's
So
amazing, dude.
So I'm
Yeah,
very
you did
happy that
something right. You did something right. It's
even with
I
all the call like it's a Stranger Thing ripoff.
I feel a sore spot here, but
But now it did find his public, and I did watch the first season of Stranger Thing. I was like, okay, it's not kind of the yes, we have 80s keys, 80s kids on bikes, but besides that, we're not going the
in the
same
same direction. Yeah.
tropes. Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me about. There's a lot of movies. You're a metalhead, obviously. There's a lot of movies being made right now about metalheads, and I feel like you haven't done that yet. What do you think about all these movies that have been made? I wanted to write down the names, but I didn't before. I have Lords of Chaos in my head, but that is not the right one because that's about something else. But it's you know
Is
what
it
I mean.
Deadgasm?
Yes, that's one as an example. And then there's another one that Netflix made, which was actually pretty good about a guy in high school forming a band. And so you guys have not made like a metal-esque themed. Stranger Things had the metal dude in it,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, where he plays the Metallica riff and then on the top of something, and it was everywhere. So this also falls into that like hitting the wavelengths, but you guys haven't hit that yet. Is there a reason for that, or is it something you want to do in the future, like a band movie or something?
I would love to. I would love to. I don't know. Maybe we should like we need to write it ourselves. I think because
It has to come
if
from
we're
someone. You have to know it.
yeah, it needs to come from the heart, and which being a metalhead is also like
About passion.
if I knew I was either going to make cinema or music, and I did have a band at some point, but
Really, what instrument did you play?
oh, I was the singer,
Oh,
so
very cool.
I wasn't gifted. Like I'm not, and I have
That's how
asthma
we
as
end
well.
up. Oh, you can get around.
But it was in high school. It was we were mainly drinking beers and take like we have more pictures of the band that we had songs.
Stacey, you're ahead of your time. See, now you would be successful.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all
But yeah,
about branding and image.
but I was good with the set. Like I could hear a melody and I could recreate it. I didn't know what notes I was doing, but I had a good ear. But besides that, like now I'm way too far in the cinema path. So I'll continue that way.
Continue down that road. Did
Yeah.
you play a show?
Just in high school,
Okay.
not and like it was fun.
You remember the show? Do you remember, were you ready? Was the band ready? Do you remember the feeling before getting on? And how close was that feeling to you stepping on stage at Fantasia and presenting Turbo Kid?
Yeah, like I'm still a shy guy, but I don't know. I like having fun, and I sometimes like I'm shy, but I just I just say fuck it, and I go on
Yeah.
stage and I do my best, and whatever happens, happens. So yeah, I guess it was the same mindset, and now that I went like we did so many festivals, like I'm kind of a like
Seasoned veteran.
yeah. I don't mind. I need to be prepared in my head before, like, not. I have to be careful not to be too tipsy.
Yes, that totally works against us. But if you're right, just in the right pocket and you turn it on, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fun to stand in front of a crowd of people and talk to them and animate them.
yeah. And since we're like I'm not alone, we're three directors, so
Correct.
like even and I if I stumble or I'm struggling and searching my
Someone
words in
picks you
English,
up. Someone picks it up
yeah,
for you.
Johan will help me or Anuk will help me, and we're I don't know, we develop that hive mind, if you like.
That's interesting. And now on that subject of working with other people, is that difficult, or is it something you just mentioned that it's easier because they pick up when you're stumbling? Is that something that happens when you're actually working on the movies? writing the movies, putting the movies together? And is it ever a time, and if they're listening or watching this, I'm not trying to cause shit, is there ever a moment where it would be easier if you were alone?
Like everybody was like, it's the first question we have every time. Like, we're
Really?
three
Oh, this is the
directors.
shit question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but
At least
it's
I'm 38 minutes in before I asked it, at least.
it's so unusual to have three directors, and usually we have a like how is it possible? And how are you still friends? But I don't know. For us, like I said at the beginning, we started that way. We wanted to make movies with our friends and just have fun. And we, like, at the beginning, we were doing everything. So for us, it's just normal. We always work that way. We do argue, but it's
Yeah, but it's
behind the
normal
curtain.
for people
So
to argue.
no,
It's normal for
nobody's
people to argue. You should argue. If you don't argue, it'd be weird.
yeah, and it's mainly when we write.
Mm.
So when we learn a long time ago to put your ego on the side, and when you pitch an idea, it's not your idea, it's an idea, and together we'll
I
pick
like
the
that.
best one.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. No, that's a good way of approaching pitching things. It's not your idea. Don't come attached and don't be so defensive about an idea that you came up with. It's an idea.
Yeah, and then you, like, if that idea that you like is not chosen, like,
It doesn't matter. Move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an idea. It's like a riff or anything. Cryptops, have you gotten over that? Chris loves to tell us how much we suck. The next question that you must hate getting, and I'm going to ask you it, is there going to be, are you working on, and when is Turbo Kid #2 coming? Does it need a sequel is another follow-up question. And, sometimes it's best to let people want something.
Yeah, well, look, we know the fans want it really bad, and it's our baby. We love that world. I think it's kind. I don't want it to. I don't want to compare it to, like, an IP like Star Wars, but we could expand that world in a sequel, or we have a video game that will
No way.
Come out pretty soon.
That's funny. I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we wanted. It's a small company, a very cool company called Outer Mind in Montreal, and we told them, like, we want something like, we're huge geek. We play video game all the time, and we want a game that we'll be proud, and we would want to play ourselves.
Yeah, no, of course,
not just an app for promotion. So they went all in.
Amazing.
I just received a bill to test it, so I'm very I can't wait to play it. But yeah, I can't say that the date, but it's gonna be released at the beginning, like the first quarter of this year. So
oh shit, so it's coming.
It's pretty soon.
Very, very cool.
And then yes, there's a script for the sequel. We have to do another pass, and then cross our fingers that Téléfilm Canada and SODEC will choose this project and be financed by our tax money.
No, it's good. I'll pay my taxes if I can watch a sequel. What about this? You mentioned it before. Finding out that Netflix was pitching Stranger Things, or was putting out Stranger Things as you guys were doing summer of '84. Would it ever be something realistic or a goal of yours to get onto a streaming service, to have them finance something in the future for you, like a TV series hypothetically, or a movie?
Yeah, we're super open to so far we made 4 feature, but we would sure like to try TV, which is a format that I didn't think I would like to work with, but since shows like Breaking Bad and True Detective, and
Yeah.
they like it's awesome.
It's deep, real cinema at this point, and the scripts are always amazing. And there's a real like hole. I don't see that there's a TV show that's like super gory, but also funny, and that's something that you guys really hit. And I feel like it's very popular.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
comedy horror, it like balances itself. Like I think like what's it, Shaun of the Dead or something. It was like probably my first foray into very cheeky, funny British humor, but it was also gory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is awesome. Yeah, it's one of my favorite zombie movie for sure.
So, so
And yeah,
so I think that there's definitely like a market and a hole missing for a TV show with that type of humor with the gore in it.
it's harder to get money for that type of
Because
like
it's so violent, it's too niche.
it's too niche. It's not everybody like it's not
Everybody's cup
like
of tea.
gory horror comedy. It's super rare that you'll have a movie that will be mainstream. It's usually horror contain horror, like a cool concept that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
like at very few location, so it doesn't cost too
yeah.
much money. And yeah, if you have a huge fight at the end with tons of gore, for sure it's
It's a
something
plus.
that costs a lot of money and a lot of
Interesting.
time.
Okay. This is so foreign to me. It's so different than
So
compared to.
you need to be passionate to do that. Like we don't do it for money, obviously. And I'm sure you can
It's very
draw
similar. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
similar to extreme music.
Yeah,
You don't do
totally.
it for money, but you
We
do
do
it
it
because
because
you
we
like
like
it.
it and it's fun and it's interesting and it's a way of expressing ourselves. I love it very, very, very much. I'm proud of you. I think it's really cool that you've accomplished this much, um, from going to Video G, and renting those 7 horror movies in that basement, and it smelled like popcorn in there all the time because they had that popcorn machine. It was
Oh yeah, and we at some point they obviously they
closed
all died,
and became a
and we
paint store. But
yeah, and you could like we were too late, but every cool horror movie was sold when
yeah,
they yeah. So
yeah, you could
I
go in
still,
and like buy up their cassettes because it was closing.
man, that whole like the basement was
It was crazy.
it was
Yeah,
insane.
I had to like sweet
It
talk
was
my dad to
heaven.
bring me over every once in a while. um, sorry. I love this segment that I'm going to bring up right now. It's called Fight the Hops. It's where I ask my guests a very short-term goal, something that you're hoping to accomplish within the next month or two. What are you doing right now to fight the hops?
Oh, um, fight the hubs. I'm trying to not spend too much time on video games and like
Market
that's
research, though.
yeah, yeah. I can try to do like no, I'm not wasting my time on doing research. But yeah, we need to find like I said, we just finished 2 movies, which is going to be released this year. I don't know when, but it's when you release a movie, it's when you need to like we will have the spotlight on us. So we need to get another project going as soon as possible.
Wow. There's never
So
like a moment of lull where you could just rest.
well, we could, but like we don't have a
You're not
job
done.
like a
You're not done even know type thing.
like I quit my day job to to do Turbo Kid, and
Yeah.
so far
Really. Wow.
I didn't go back.
Wow.
So
That's like 10
it,
years.
yep.
Wow.
So if I want to eat, I need to I need to make another one. So
Interesting.
that's super. That's the thing. We have a very interesting and crazy life, and a bit stressful, a lot stressful, but like being able to travel around the world with our art and seeing the fans that like are so happy to see us and just to drink beer with them, and
Talk
For
about
me,
horror
it's
movies.
it's the best pay. It's the real pay.
Hell
So,
yes, man. I like that. And you know what? I always get asked this question. I wonder if it's different than like the parallel that we have here. People always like, where's your favorite place to play? And I always say the crowds are always the same. When you hit Graves of the Father, they're gonna
is,
they're
is
gonna
it
fucking
though?
move. I find the crowds, but is it
Yep.
different? I find 100%. Japan, they're much more quiet. I'll mention that. But when the pit starts, the pit's the same.
Oh
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
so for yourself, when you screen in different countries, have you noticed a difference?
Um, like Fantasia is one of the best crowd in the
Oh,
world.
the best. Yeah, yeah.
Like every screening is a full on party. I There's some place in the world that are like that.
Just because we're spoiled, because we're
Yeah,
from here.
maybe.
It's like
But
the beautiful
like
women. It's like the beautiful women from here.
I can say the same thing. I saw metal show like at I don't know where, but maybe an example when we were shooting in Vancouver, I did like see every metal show that was uh,
Coming
in
through.
Van City at that time, and
Really?
I
That's so
remember
cool.
I wish it was in Montreal because the pit would be way more insane.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it depends on
Maybe it's from my perspective, standing up front.
maybe yeah.
Yeah.
But I know we're very lucky here in Quebec because I don't even if there's a huge snowstorm, people
They're
will
gonna
still
go.
show up. Yeah,
Yes,
and
because we're used to it. It's like today, we had wonderful weather today. We still all went to work. Nothing was canceled.
yeah,
Well, good for you taking 10 years of your life and accomplishing your dreams and smashing through it and like finishing one project and knowing that you can't just sit on your ass and play video games, even if it is your video game for your movie that you have to try out. You still have to be creative and have those 2, 3, 5 other projects ready to go because people are going to ask you what's up next.
yeah, absolutely. And we'll sleep when we're dead.
Hell yes. Well, I hope that you come to a point where there can be breaks, and I hope that you do take breaks because it's important for mental health and listen to your bodies. And if you do need a break, I encourage you guys to take a break. I like making collabs. I've made a bunch of collabs with Kahnawake Brewing. I've released 80 beers over the past 5 years with the podcast. I've done some stuff for
Wow.
Cryptopsy. I love it. Making beers is my thing. If you were to do something like a piece of merchandise, maybe you've already done it, like a very cool Turbo Kid merchandise or something for yourself, what would be the perfect collab?
Man, can we have a Turbo Kid beer?
I'm sure that you can have a Turbo Kid beer. That's an easy thing to get done.
Yeah,
Any brewers that are listening to this that want to make a Turbo Kid beer, François is interested. So that it's as easy as
hell yeah.
watch. I'll write you when they say something. That'd be cool. What kind of beer would it be? What would you want? A Pilsner, a Czech Pilsner.
I will sure want my Pilsner, but
What
I
did they drink
know.
in the movie? When he goes to the bar at the beginning, what are they drinking? It should be something thematically based upon that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well, they like very shitty water that they are drinking. I guess the Bagu is drinking alcohol, like a very strong
Like
moonshine.
distilled something. Yeah.
Yeah,
We can think of something. Then we can work with that'd be cool. If you can make a Turbo Kid beer, I'm sure people would like to see that.
and I'm sure Johan is like it's the other one, my
Yeah.
friend, the tall bald guy, is a huge beer drinker. So
Okay,
he'll
well,
be on
let's do it,
board.
people. Hit me up, and if you want to make a Turbo Kid beer, François, Yoann, and everyone are into it. So let's do that. I have one last question to wrap this up. It is the classic Vox and Hops wrap-up question. Now, it probably doesn't happen to you very often because you can't rest, and you finished 2 movies last year, and you're already thinking about the next 3 or 4. But every once in a while, hypothetically, when you wrap up and you say that's a wrap, and the movie's over, what is your hangover cure?
Oh, my hangover cure. Shit. Maybe a shower and a Bloody Caesar.
Yes, the Bloody Caesars come around the showers. That's something I do, and more as I've gotten older. I don't know if it's like, do we drink the water? I find I drink more water in the shower when
I
I'm
think it's just in our head. Like, I feel
Nothing.
so dirty.
What did I do to myself?
But
yes.
when we were in Korea, I did party way too much, and the festival, like the nice people at the festival, gave me a small canet of
A small can, yeah.
hangover cure with a Korean doctor. Like,
you know it's good when.
Yeah, and I think it did work.
Wow. Okay. What was in it? Do you know, or was it just a mystery ingredients?
A mystery brew, like it tasted funny, but I guess I'm not sure I want to know what's in it.
No, not now. Well, now
when
it's
I think
okay,
about it.
Yeah. That's
but
amazing.
if ever you're in Korea, look out for a hangover cure with the
doctor.
Happy doctor. Yeah.
Hell yes, Francois. Thank you so much for taking the time talking to me about your life, about making movies, a little bit about beer. People, go check out his movies. Turbo Kid, Summer of '84, We Are Zombies. There's 2 more on the way. Incredible.
Well, the other one is called Wake Up, which is a slasher set in IKEA.
Oh, that's already going to IKEA is my nightmare. So this is great.
So be on the lookout for both We Are Zombie and Wake Up.
Hell yes. Okay. Well, you. I hope you have a great night. Thank you so much. This is great. Cheers.
Hey, thank you. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. Man, this was an awesome conversation. I have really not had that many filmmakers on the podcast, and that is something that I want to change, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I absolutely love movies and television, and I do tend to find enough time to watch a bunch of stuff, such as Turbo Kid, and I loved that when it came out, and I totally am very stoked that a guy that grew up in the town over from me in St. Eustache is now a renowned filmmaker that has released multiple movies. I am making it my mandate to watch the rest of your movies, François. He's a metalhead, people. He makes great movies. If you have not checked out Turbo Kid or any of his other movies, please do so. I have put the link to his IMDb in the description of this podcast. Go and check them out. Support this metalhead movie maker. I think it's goddamn awesome. Thank you, François, for being you, and keep up the killer work. Now, if you enjoyed this Vox and Hops episode, you should sign up to the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast's mailing list. You can do that on my website, voxandhops.com. That's VOXANDHOPS.com. And when you do that, you shall receive 1 email a week that contains all of the details of everything that has happened in the world of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast. You will get to see which episodes I dropped recently. You will also get to see which episodes I have coming up. You will get to hear about any projects I have in the works for the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, and you will also be updated on whatever I got going on with Cryptopsy. That's right. Cryptopsy, we just dropped our brand new album back in September of 2023, and we are doing a whole bunch of stuff. We are planning a massive 2024, starting with that European tour, the Unquestionable Blasphemy Tour with Atheists, that's coming up at the end of February. It's running all across Europe until the end of March. You will also get to see which albums the Vox and Hops album review crew have reviewed recently, and you will get to see which albums Jerry Monk, Vox and Hops' metal architect, has added to the Brutal Awakenings playlist. There's always a lot of stuff going on in the world of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, and I hate when you miss a single thing, so do me a favor and sign up to the mailing list. The Vox and Hops Metal Podcast is brought to you by Sound Talent Media and Evergreen Podcasts. I hope you have a killer rest of the week. I will be back next week with yet another episode on Tuesday, but until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.